Welcome to Hockey Tap Podcast, episode 167, round 2 fight. Short Sam, I'm not going to fault Sam. He's obviously he's the best, and he's going through some. Yeah, I mean, I sent him a link, tell him what the pod title is, and look what we
We
got.
appreciate you, Sam.
Round
Thank
2
you.
fights. Yes, Sam is the best. We love him. And Sam, get better, buddy. We're here for you, whatever you need. Obviously, Primetime Radio, courtesy of Mr. Wu. I am Bill Dean, and this is my co-host, Shroom
Single
Sandella.
co-host.
Yeah. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Leave us a 5-star review if you'd be so kind. Schwim, because I don't have to say
Yes.
boys.
Yes,
what
William.
are you drinking?
I'm drinking a newbie that I picked up the other day from my favorite, Nightmare, of course. Oh, yeah, I forgot my camera's up here now. So this is called Schwedentrunk or Schwedentrunk. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know if you can see the artwork. This person's being
That's pretty cool.
force-fed
Yes.
hot liquid.
It's awesome.
So basically, this is their lager. It's a dark lager brewed with Southern German malt, noble hops, and lagered for 2 months. So trying it for the first time.
One thing I guess we don't do enough is talk about and we'll do more on summer. It's usually summer when we talk more about beer, but all the different hops, how much really does each region affect the taste of the hops? I'm always interested in that. So we have to get a brewmaster on here. Maybe we'll talk to what's his name from Let's Go Devils and Crew Brew. We'll chat with them because
Part of Souls.
Yeah.
God, what's his name?
Part of Souls.
Brian
I forgot.
or something?
Brian. Yeah, I forgot. I'm sorry, Brian. Or
we need Shorts guy.
He's
got the.
We do need Shorts guy. I am drinking courtesy of AJ Bolero Snort Brewery.
Wow.
This is called Amalfi Napoli. I guess it's to say. It's a crema de limoncello. So it's a limoncello inspired sour ale.
Okay.
So I'm gonna enjoy this one. I'm sure it's gonna be very lemony. Limoncello is fantastic, by the way.
This is a dark lager. What percentage is yours?
Oh, that's delicious. Steve can't have this. 6%.
Uh-oh. I got 5.5%. You win.
Nice. So let's get what's on tap for today's podcast. Here's our weekly snapshot. Schwim, the hockey playoffs. Other than 2 series, the Leafs, Bruins, and obviously Dallas Stars and Knights.
7 gamers.
Was kind of a bum, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of a bummer.
Wasn't all that great. I wasn't obviously the Rangers one was, we all knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not in a sweep, even though
I don't know about sweep.
Although I predicted a sweep.
You did predict it.
So I got that.
Got it right.
Got that correct.
You did really well.
Yeah, that series, the Islanders one and Carolina, we knew that how that was going to go. The Tampa, Florida one, we pretty much knew Florida was coming out of there.
Oh yeah.
What am I forgetting? Oilers and Kings. Yeah, nobody really cared about that one.
Yeah, no one cared about that one.
The 2 best series were obviously the 2 7-game series.
Yeah. I'm looking really quickly because I did have our Stanley Cup playoff picks. Pretty much everyone.
My team's out.
Well, all tallied up. Your team is out. Yes, you picked.
Yep, I'm the only one. I picked the friggin' Jets
over the Rangers. So Stars Bruins still alive, although Bruins definitely showed. We'll talk about them in a little bit. That they're I don't think long for the playoffs. I have Dallas over the Rangers, so I'm very much alive. Shorts guy. Good. I had a pick in here, but I didn't put it in apparently. Beer Baron had Canucks over Hurricanes, so that's still alive.
Okay.
Stars over Hurricanes for Scotty. Vinny, Oilers over Hurricanes. So pretty decent ones. All right, so let's talk quickly about the teams that were ousted before we go into the previews for the next rounds. So first up, the Islanders. I mean, pretty easy. They need, I think, an overhaul, right? And I know that they said they're bringing back both Lamoriello and Patrick Waugh. I think that's a mistake, Islanders fans. I think that Lamoriello's too long in the tooth, too old, and just doesn't seem to adapt to the new NHL. You have no youth, and you have big-time players, really 2 guys, Noah Dobson and Matt Barzal. If I was him, I'd want to trade out of there. I mean, Bo Horvat is his only other decent. You have some decent players, Nelson and a couple other guys, but they stink. And to have this team be a playoff team was disappointing. I didn't think they were overly great, and they need a clean slate. And I think you need to go into this offseason looking at making some trades, whether it be shipping out some guys, getting younger,
Mm-hmm.
or trying to find creative ways to add youth to this roster because
Yeah.
it's barren.
Yeah. I think the Lamelo Patrick Watt act that'll get old quick.
Yeah, I did
Like if
too.
they have another season like they did
Oh yeah,
this year. I mean, it wasn't a bad season, let's say, but like they qualified for the playoffs and everything, but they they were never a threat at any point. So it's just like it's gonna be more of the same, or if not worse, I think next year.
oh yeah,
So yeah, they have like their best player basically is Noah Dobson. I wouldn't even say what's his face.
yeah. Barzal's kind of
I wouldn't
fallen
even say
off a little bit,
Barzell.
right?
Barzell's like always to me. He's always like hit or miss. He's like really
Yeah,
good at some points, and at other points he's like invisible. Dobson's
yeah,
been
I
pretty
agree.
consistent. So, and then their goaltending, Varlamov is like Patrick Waugh's hero, apparently, not
Yep.
Sorokin. So that's
Yeah,
not
he's
good.
got to get. That's a big
That's
thing,
not
and I
good.
forgot to mention that
Yeah,
Patrick Waugh needs to take Sorokin underneath his wing this offseason and get him back to
something.
playing because he's Vezina caliber, Vezina
Oh yeah,
like he should be right in the running every single year. And if you don't have him going and you decide that Varlamov, if for some reason is your answer, please trade him because I would
yeah,
love
really.
nothing more than to not
How
see his
much?
face in my division.
How much longer is he signed for? And
He's got a long time. I think he's got like
he's
six
got a big
years.
deal. Oh Jesus,
Yeah.
I don't know. That team
Sorokin,
is.
they're a disaster. They're terrifying. He's got he signed an 8 year, $66 million contract in July 1st, 2023. He's got 7 years left. Yeah, they're
Jesus,
not going
yeah.
to do
So
anything with it.
they
They're
can't
going
move
to keep
him.
him. But
No,
all right, number two
he's
on
gonna
the
be like.
list.
Remember, Bobrovsky was like pretty much like the highest
Yeah.
paid backup at one point when he signed
Yep.
that huge deal with Florida, but now he's
Yeah,
kind of taken
Bobo.
over. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll happen to Sorokin.
Maybe we'll see Wright come back. We'll see. Not Shane Wright. I was thinking of uh,
Spencer Knight.
who's the guy? Spencer Knight. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Jump into the unless you got anything else on the Islanders. Jump into the Caps.
No, I hate
Caps
him.
just need.
Yeah, I hate him. I want to add that in there. I
I
hate the
hate them.
I hate the Isle.
Capitals. Clearly a team that got in the back door. I mean, it was
It was a
a
crapshoot.
miraculous, yeah, and they had 4 wins out of their last 10, and it just happened to be four in a row, and every other team just kind of shooting themselves in
Yeah,
the foot.
nobody wanted to grab that
But
last spot,
no, yeah,
so
so they went to the Capitals.
it was basically just
It
given
was
to
a
whoever.
it was a bad showing, right? The Rangers sweeping them, and the Islanders also just quickly losing 4-1 in the fashion that the Islanders lost some of those games was pretty fantastic. So kudos
Yeah,
to them as well. But back to the Capitals. You're going to have Oshie there, although it sounds like he could retire. He was kind of last off the rank. I could see maybe him
yeah.
hanging it up. But you're the Ovechkin show until he leaves, and then you're just hoping to get youth, right? You had a couple guys step up in the playoffs. Hendrix Lapierre played decent. Connor McMichael, okay. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
they need a reshuffling of the deck here. See what you can get for Kemper. I think Lindgren played well enough. You get him and a younger guy, maybe something can happen in goal. Defense, I mean, John Carlson, maybe he's someone worth looking to trade around to get some pieces. But it's the same kind of thing. I mean, Islanders
Yeah.
really have a couple players, but I don't see the Capitals having any one core that you really are going to build around
No, they
as your
look
guy.
like they're going to be like very soon like one of the worst teams in the league. Possibly we're going to be talking
Yeah.
about them because they'll be like probably trying to get younger and acquiring picks, and they're going to
Yep.
be in the basement probably for a little bit. They have like I don't know if Ovechkin's going to break this record with the team he's on. He might have to go to another team to try to break this record.
I would love
I don't
that.
know if I see I
That'd be
don't know if I see
fantastic.
it happening with Washington. I mean, I
No,
guess
they,
he's
they need to
capable because
find.
he can. Yeah,
You,
but he's
you know
got
what I
nobody
could
to
see
play
them
with.
doing something exactly. Something dumb they could do is someone like Chandler Stevenson, right? Who's going to be a free agent this
Mm-hmm.
offseason. He's a 30-year-old center. They're dumb enough to pay him $8 million a year for 8 years to try to have him play as center for Ovechkin to make to help him with that. That's something dumb they could do to help them out.
Yeah.
But yeah, they need to get younger. It's time.
I saw
Uh,
one of those fake clickbait things that are always on like that pop up in your feed on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I always have hockey things that pop up. Like, oh, the this person. It's always something ridiculous. And like the most ridiculous one I just saw now was, oh, rumors of Ovi wanting to play with Kucherov in Tampa.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. And they're talking about how a line would be Ovechkin, Stamkos, and Kucherov.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that'll
Well,
happen.
that's a perfect segue. The perfect segue,
Yeah.
Schwem. Your Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah.
Obviously, losing 4-1 to Florida. The 4 losses were bad. I mean, you had the one comeback victory, which gave you some life. But what is this? Where's this team go from here? Obviously Stammer's a big question mark. A couple other
Yeah,
guys,
he's their
but
biggest
what
question mark.
what do you see this team doing? What do they need to do?
Well, first of all, that series I think was a lot. It was closer than a 4-1 series because all the first 2 games were close. The third
Yeah,
game was close. Tampa won the fourth game. That friggin' fifth game, they had 2 disallowed goals that people are
yeah.
arguing were kind of BS. So that game could have gone, but who knows? I didn't think they were going to win the series anyway. But like the series was a lot closer than what it looks like on paper. Anyway, having said that, they underperformed big time against Florida. But also Florida's a friggin' powerhouse, and if they don't roll over Boston in this series, then I don't know, something's wrong. Then they should have no
Yep.
problem rolling over this team. Anyway, yeah, biggest offseason question mark is Stamkos. I personally think he's going to resign somehow. They're going to do it. I don't know how, but they're going to somehow do
So
it.
what do you
figure
think
it
that
out.
contract looks like? What does that contract look like?
I don't know. I don't know if if he's willing to give up, like have a lower number, and maybe they'll give him like a 4-year deal or something like that to take him
Yeah.
to. How old is he now? He's 30. Is he 34?
30.
I don't know. 33, 34, I think.
He is
Anyway,
34 years old.
Okay, so there you go. So that'll take him to 38, let's say. Um, I don't know. I can't see him just up and leaving there. He's like the face of the franchise. He's unless they have a huge falling out and something happens where he insults his mother or something like that, then
Yeah.
he's like, I'm out of here. I don't know. I don't see him leaving. I see him maybe taking less money to stay in Tampa and wanting to retire in Tampa. The team still has a pretty good core together. You still have Kucherov, who's 30. You still have Braden Point, who I think is 27 or whatever. Vasilevsky is 29. Sorelli's still in his 20s. Sergachev's 20.
Young.
But they still have like pretty good pieces. Yeah. If they could just like figure like an overall team defense out, they could still be a pretty decent team. Their team defense is horrible. They need like a better. I don't know if it's personnel or if it's structure. They need something with their overall defense.
On the structure, and there's a good. Obviously, John Cooper is, I think, the best coach in the NHL. I don't think that's a question for myself. I think he's the best coach. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I might say he's the best. I really do. I think he's that high up. But does he need to do anything with the coaching staff? Because, like you said, the structure, some things kind of were an issue.
I don't know.
Is it maybe Jeff Halpern's obviously talked about in many circles as being a head coaching candidate. Yeah. But are there names that? Yeah, are there guys? Do you think some of these guys need to you need to shuffle the deck a little bit?
I don't know. Well, they just got what's his face, Blashill for the last.
Yeah.
I don't know if this season or the season before was his first, but I don't know the defense. Right, the personnel they have on D aren't that great. Like I know Perbix wasn't really that good in the playoffs. He was also playing on his offside. I think he was a righty playing the left side, which he's never done before. So that was kind of why he was always turning the puck over, basically. But I think it's more of a structure thing. If they can get these guys to like commit to like a certain defensive structure, I think they'll be pretty good. Like, because just some of the plays they're making were so stupid. Just like not knowing to do with the puck, not knowing. Getting it out of harm's way live to fight another day instead of trying to make a pass up the middle and turning the puck over. That's all they had were multiple turnovers. So I'm assuming they're going to try to address something with that in the offseason, either by, again, maybe they bring in a new coach. I don't know, for who can run a defensive system, a better defensive system. Maybe they trade some people away because to be able to sign Stamkos, they might have to.
Yeah.
So I keep hearing. I heard Chernak's rumored, but like he has a big contract right now. I don't know if they're going to be able to move him. So I don't know who they would move. I know a lot of people are saying Connor Sherry just because he completely underperformed this year. He signed a 3-year deal in the offseason, and he had,
Yeah,
I think, 2 goals this year or whatever the hell it was. But he was also
wasn't
injured.
great,
I
right?
heard he wasn't great, but I also heard he was injured throughout the season. So maybe he can get back to being like a 15 plus goal scorer. That would help. Uh, Jeannot, I have no idea. That's been a debacle ever since they got him for the amount that they traded away to acquire him, hoping that he would provide. I mean, he does provide, a physical element to the game, but it's just like
Yep.
offensively, really not doing anything. But who knows? Like, I think a lot of their problems are structure. If they can have a better defensive structure, you have one of the best, if not the best, damn goalie in the world back there. If you could have a
Yeah.
really good defensive structure in front of him, I think this team could
Oh
be
yeah.
pretty damn good with the number one power play. They had the number one power play, and I think the number 5 or 6 penalty kill. Their penalty kill was really good too. So it's just like 5-on-5 is where they need to improve. Their 5-on-5 play is
Yep.
terrible. So
Yeah, I'd agree.
if they can sign Stamkos, fix their structure, I don't know if that's bringing in people again. I don't know if that's bringing in people or just a new trying something different. I think they could be again another a playoff team again next year, and maybe even try to make a run here.
Yeah. All right. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, listen, you still have a ton of talent.
Yeah,
You guys, you said there's youth there that is ever present. I think people when they look at the Tampa Bay Lightning, they just think of all the long runs that they've had the last 3-4 years,
yeah, and everyone's like, "Oh,
really
their time's
4
up. Their
years,
time's
and
up." I don't think
yeah,
so. I think
and
they
that's
still
where you
have.
think about them being long in the
Yeah,
tooth.
I think
Yep,
they still have it. They still have a
I
core
do
there.
too.
They can still compete.
They scared the crap out of me. I mean, I didn't want to see them first round. That was the last thing I wanted to see first round.
Yeah. The only team I,
Um,
I didn't want to see in the first round was Florida, and of course they got Florida. I was like,
it's
God
the one you get.
damn
Yeah.
it! I really wanted them to
Uh,
play Boston. I think that could have been a different series, but it is
yeah.
what it
It,
is. And what was I going to say? I forget. I had something I wanted to say. Now I can't remember. Maybe it'll come to me in a little bit. But yeah, so I think they'll sign Stamkos hopefully relatively soon. I hope if
yep.
this drags out like in the summer, then I don't know. That might not be a good thing. I think they need to lock him up
Yeah.
like sooner rather than later,
Agreed. Yeah,
which
you
I hope
want
they
to
do.
show your guys that you mean
Yeah,
business. This is one of the leaders of your team. This is a guy that clearly has been one of your studs for a long time. So you want to get
yeah,
him in
and
there.
he's
All
he's
right, we'll go.
he's still got another 40 goal season. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, couple
I
quick.
would take that any day of the week.
Yeah, a couple quick hits, and then we'll get into this game right now. Game one of the Panthers Bruins series is tied 0-0 at the end of the first. Um, all right, Toronto Maple Leafs.
Same
Listen,
old
you could
Leafs.
just turn on any Toronto Maple Leafs media, and you'll hear exactly what people, which is just, it's everything's on
Mm-hmm.
fire, everything's terrible. To me, this whole series was down to two things. One, Mitch Marner is clearly an enormous issue. Him and John Tavares, they're taking up $21 million of cap hit,
Yeah,
$22 million of cap hit. And they just don't seem to be big game players.
no.
Tavares, all the bullshit. He's got 1 year left. I heard some wild theories that they could buy him out, which is craziness because they can't. The buyout would be exactly his contract. So, but
Yeah,
that'll send a major shockwave to the team. That this is not going to cut anymore. Mitch Marner, he has a no movement clause, but they could do a lot of things to get him to give up some teams that he'd want to be traded to, and I think that's really the way you need to go. Deal Mitch Marner, try to get back anything, a defenseman. You have some young forwards coming in that look pretty good. But yeah, I think Mitch Marner has to go, and it sucks because he's a very talented player, but he doesn't seem to have it when the game comes, when the big game comes.
I don't know. Yeah, I like him a
I think
lot.
Sheldon Keefe
Obviously,
stays.
you think so? I don't
Yeah, I think
know.
he's 1 more year.
I don't know. I could see them like blowing it up and just like
Craig
firing
Berube.
him and hiring somebody else, getting another fresh mind in there, and then I don't know. I don't know if I want to trade Marner, but I understand like where you're coming from. I see like everything he's not doing in the playoffs, but also
He had a goose egg. He was
Tavares.
bad.
Tavares is what does Tavares do?
He's
What has he been doing?
he's a third line center, and he makes
That's what I'm saying.
$11 million.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So it's just like,
Yeah,
can you do anything with that contract? I don't know. Um,
Other than buy him out,
yeah,
I don't think you'd have to eat because even if you retain 50%, who's going to pay $5.5 million for this guy as
I don't
their
know.
third center?
Unless he has
That's
like
crazy.
a no, like he can't be traded to a
He probably
certain
does.
list of teams or something, and you just trade him to Arizona or Utah.
Um, yeah. Could you imagine he
Oh
pays
my
the
god.
guy who slept in his PJs, his Leaf
Yeah,
Leafs PJs?
yeah. It's not working out in my opinion.
No, it's not.
And then
He's
again,
no movement close.
they're I wonder if Wall is going to be their starter going into next
So
season.
I definitely think Samsonov asked for a move. I don't
Yeah.
think I think he sees the writing on the wall that it didn't go very well. I do they still have Matt Murray for another year? Because I could see it being like a
I don't
Matt
know.
Murray Wall tandem because Wall can't seem to stay healthy. That's his problem.
Neither
He's
can
great
Murray.
when he's in net.
They'd be down to
Well,
their
both of
third
them.
and fourth goal
Yeah,
if that's their
um,
tandem. I don't know.
it
They got to do
really
something.
is. They're bad.
But
It
that
really is
that friggin'
awful.
that game winning goal, game 7 overtime winner. It's
Oh,
friggin' Pasternak just skates by everyone.
everybody,
No one's paying attention to him. Especially, I think
everybody.
Marner. Marner was right there. Didn't follow him in. Just I don't know. I
All
don't
right,
know what they
so
like. That was such a Leafs goal. It was
oh yeah.
hilarious.
Samsonov's a UFA.
Yeah,
Martin
he's
Jones is a
gone.
UFA, and Matt Murray's a UFA. So the only
Yeah,
guys they
so there
have
you
under
go.
contract are Wall through 2025, and then Dennis Hildeby. I guess he's an AHL guy.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe
He's
they
man, this
go
guy
out and get
Hildeby's
someone
6'8".
else.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah, that's a
But
big
if
boy.
Wall's healthy, he
Uh,
really wasn't that bad. He looked pretty good.
yeah, but UFAs they have not a lot of guys under contract. You have Nyes, you have Austin Matthews, you have Marner, one more year.
Hmm.
Matthews has 3 more years. You have McCann, you have Tavares, you have Nylander, you have Nick Robertson, Kampf, Yali Yarncrook, and then you have Pontus Holmberg, Ryan Reeves, and then you also have Connor DeWar. You have a bunch of so their forwards are set. Their defense right now is Morgan Riley, Timothy Liljegren, Simon Benoit, Jake McCabe, and then they have really no one on their 5 and 6 because you have T.J. Brody, Joel Edmondson, Mark Giordano, John Klingberg, Jake Muzzin, all UFAs.
Yeah, they're all
You
gone.
have Labushkin, also a UFA.
Yeah,
How many defensemen
that
do
was a
they
bad
have
trade.
this year? They had like 15. And then you also lose in technically in UFA. You have Bertuzzi, Max Domi, Kyle Clifford, and well, that's really it. But they have a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff's going to move in and out of that
Yeah.
team.
And also,
So
some of
we'll
those
see.
guys could come back, but does that really
Yeah,
happen? I don't know. If, maybe
I think
one
maybe
or two of them
Domi.
come back,
Yeah,
but
maybe Domi.
that's probably it.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
they're gonna be another work in progress, and
yeah. It's amazing.
same thing's gonna happen.
Yeah. All right, Golden Knights. That series was awesome.
That was a
You could
great
clearly
series.
tell that their captain Mark Stone was not healthy, and that's the crazy part. Like the guy shouldn't have been playing, and you guys get everybody up in a hoopla because you bring him back the first freaking game of the playoffs after being on LTI for the whole year,
Hmm.
and he's probably gonna have to go back on LTI. I sent that meme to the
Yeah, that
team
bit
saying
was
that he's
funny.
already put on LTIR for the
He'll be back
2024-25
for the
season.
first round.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um, listen, I don't think they had enough time to gel. 8 seed playing the 1 seed. Dallas Stars were clearly the better team. It, if the Knights
they
and
had
Stars
that
played
series though.
I know, if
They
they
had
played in the
that
West Conference
series.
Final, you would have thought that was the two best teams in the West because they are that
Yeah.
good. Um, but yeah, just getting healthy. They're gonna have to do some things with the contract. I don't know if GM's gonna be around anymore, Marcia. So he wants a lot of money, and he's older,
Yeah, he's gonna
34,
get a lot.
35. Yeah, he's gonna get some. He's
So
gonna get paid from another team.
he could be
Uh,
out of there.
and they're gonna have to do some cap gymnastics as it is because
Yep.
they have a bunch of hurdles contract. You get up a lot of stuff going on there. So
Hannafin's big
um,
contract that he just signed.
yeah, but they're gonna be a good team for years, and
They'll
that's
still
just
be
what
good.
Vegas
Yeah.
does. Their owner is there for the long haul. He wants it to be a competitive team. He's going to pay out the yin yang to make that happen, and it's great for Vegas, and it's great for an opening franchise. See what this guy's doing to win championships. But they're going to be contenders, and they're going to piss off people with the way they do the
Yeah, they
cap
don't care.
circumvention, which is not illegal, but it's
Nope,
just
not
it
yet.
infuriates fans. So Yeah, not yet. It will be. I think they're going to figure something out with that. But
They
all
probably
right,
will. Yeah.
Jets Avalanche. The Jets, still
I can't believe
talented. They've
that.
one
That's
of
the
the
most
best.
stunning series to me.
Yeah, 4-1
Not
after
not
going up game one.
not that Colorado won, because that okay, I can see Colorado beating that. I can see Colorado beating
Yep,
anybody in the West. Just the way that they destroyed Connor
Hellebuck.
Hellebuck and that
Yeah,
defense.
I
They had the best defense, and they won the
did.
freaking Jennings Trophy in the
Did you
league,
see what
and they got
Hellebuck said at the end of the
destroyed.
league? That he thought he was playing his best hockey.
He said that after that series.
Yeah, yeah. He said he thought he was playing his best hockey of the season.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, when you let it up 6-5, 6-5, and 6, he let up in 5 games. He let up 28 goals. That
Not just
is
him though. The
bonkers.
defense, their
No, the whole
team
team. Yeah,
defense
it's the whole team.
was phenomenal. Their
It
team.
was yeah, it
That's
was
why I
awful
thought
the whole
like
series.
they were going to stymie. I mean, Colorado's a high scoring team, yeah, but I thought like playoff time. They got the goalie. They got that team
Yeah,
defense. They're going to stymie them a little bit. Maybe they, surprise them in a game or two. But overall, I thought Winnipeg would be able to handle them. And God
yeah.
damn, was I wrong? They got
No,
destroyed. That was the most surprising
they
series.
yes,
Just the
it
way
was
it panned out. Again, not that
absolutely
Colorado won. That was not surprising. Just the way that I guess the way that
yes.
they
The way
won.
that they dismantled a very good defensive team. Yeah,
Crazy.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally agree with you.
Ruined my bracket. That's what I
Yep.
get for picking
Um,
a Canadian team.
Ray Leo, we see it, shorthanded tonight. Yep, 2 guys are out, and we could not get Beer Baron in. He goes, it's time to break up the core of four. 50% of the cap is 4 guys. Yeah, $42 million. Crazy.
Ugh.
Um, everybody else, Facebook, YouTube, we appreciate all the comments. We'll get to some in a little bit. Schwim, I also wanted to quickly chat about you with another team
Uh-oh.
and someone that I think has a boatload of issues and should make a lot of changes. That's the LA Kings. 3 years in a row, they've lost the Edmonton Oilers. Yeah, I don't know. They
They
had an
just don't
interim
play Edmonton
coach.
in the playoffs. Maybe they
Yeah,
can win around.
but
Edmonton seems to have
the
their number, but yeah,
yeah,
but
but
to
the big
anybody
change.
did we think that they were going to beat Edmonton in the first round? Nobody thought
A
that they
little more,
would.
I would say more competitive. And I
Yeah,
say
I
more
guess.
competitive because they brought in a big ticket guy in Pierre Luc Dubois.
Yeah,
They traded Gabe Velarde, a
yeah,
boatload of players and picks for this kid, and he had, I think, he had assist in the series. Um,
not good. A lot of
Now they're talking about trading him for Darcy
there's
Kemper
no
in a
way
straight up 1-for-1. Like
that
that's what his
would be
value
terrible.
is. They
That'd be
also thought
awful.
about there's rumors that he could be bought out, and
There's no way.
he's
He's
got
still got
6 years
7 years,
remaining. Well,
seven, six
well,
years,
so
whatever.
what I heard from Elliot Freeman, he did not. He's 25 years old. First of all, he's
Yeah,
not this old
still
guy
young.
that sucks. He's
No,
25. So
yeah,
the rule is if you do a buyout on a 25-year-old before they turn 26, if you do a buyout on a 25-year-old, it's only 1/3 of his salary that gets on your cap versus 2/3 if you do over 26.
yeah.
So they
I
could,
mean, if they're gonna do it,
it's
the time is
still,
now.
yeah. And could you imagine though? They just signed him to a boatload contract, and the first year you cut him,
I don't know. I don't see them doing that. I can't imagine they're gonna cut him after signing
yeah.
that
I
big
mean,
deal.
Blake. So actually, as I read this, Rob Blake says they won't cut him. They're going to try to work with
Say,
him, but just
yeah,
it is, Rasmus Kapari, Alex Iafallo, Gabe Velarde, and then a second and another for an 8-year, $68 million contract for a guy that was on your fourth line and healthy scratched in the
yeah.
playoffs. It is.
It's.
I
I think
mean,
it's mostly like it's a mental thing with him. Wasn't he like a head case on every team he's been on, pretty much?
yeah, yeah. And he wanted the Kings. He wanted the Kings, and all of a sudden, this is what they get. Like he had 40 points in 82 games this season, and then which was a 23 point drop off from last year. And then he only had one goal, and he had 20 penalty minutes in the
That's
series
not good.
in 5 games. Like,
Yeah, that's not good.
they hit on obviously Quinn Byfield. He turned into a
Yeah,
very good player. A couple of the other young guys, Kaliev, some other guys didn't really transfer and do what you wanted them to do. I think this team still has a good core and they could compete, but there's got to be something. There's got to be another, couple moves that this team makes because clearly they're,
Yeah.
they're missing something to compete with a team like Edmonton.
I
So,
think they'll try to address stuff in the offseason, try to maybe surround him with
yep.
better people, try to maybe revamp some stuff. What's their goaltending situation? What's his face under contract? Talbot?
So I'm actually going to take a look at this real
It was
fast.
him and who was
Uh,
it? Him and Rittich, right? I think.
yeah. So goalies, they have both Talbot, Rittich, and Phoenix Copley are all UFAs.
Oh wow.
They just have AHL goalies, so they're going to definitely look for a goaltender.
Huh.
They also Arvidsson, Trevor Lewis, and Matt. Is it Roy or Wall? I can never remember which one's on
I
where,
don't
but
remember.
all
Yeah.
three of those guys are on are UFAs as well.
Hmm.
Mikey
Yeah.
Henderson is a lot of fun to watch, and he's good, and I think he'll be continue
Yeah.
to be good. But their defense could use a little bit of a change. Brant
Yeah. I
Clark's
think
another young kid coming in.
that's what I
George
think they'll try to
Smith.
address from the net out. Maybe not so
Yeah.
much forwards. They'll try to do D and
No,
goaltending. If they can land like a big goalie somehow, they
yeah.
could
Yeah.
potentially still be a pretty damn good team.
Yeah.
Because
I
their
mean, listen,
defense, again, they're a team with a pretty good defensive structure. They just need
yeah.
like the personnel to execute it.
Yeah, their forwards, their top line is Byfield, Kopitar, Kempe. Second line is
Yeah,
Trevor Moore, Deneau, Fiala. That's a great top six.
it's pretty
And then
good.
your
Yeah,
third line is Pierre Luc Dubois, Alex Laferriere, and then Alex Turcotte. I mean, you
yeah.
got some talent there. So,
If you can get Dubois going
um,
back to the way he was, you get
yeah,
these other kids to improve, like Turcotte and what's his name? Is it the other
uh,
Lafreniere or Laferriere,
Laferriere,
whatever his name is?
Laferriere,
Yeah.
yeah, Laferriere, yeah,
If they could take the next step, they could have a
even
pretty
Kaliev,
dynamic team.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know
Man, Quentin Byfield's
who the
still
hell they
only
can get
21.
to play goal for them, but I wonder how many
Man,
teams are
they
going to
need
be in on
somebody.
Markstrom in the offseason.
Uh, I would assume a bunch. And let's talk
Yeah.
about another team that has some goaltending question marks, not question marks, but really what's going to happen. Last team that was ousted, not last team in terms of games, but Nashville Predators. Last team we'll talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, they made the playoffs. They're still a fun story. Phil Forsberg's awesome. Ryan O'Reilly, obviously. Gustav Nyquist at 34 years old has 75 points and played really well in
Yeah.
the playoffs.
That was a big surprise.
Sissons is funny. Cody, fun to watch. Cody Glass, Thomas Novak, a guy that was
Yeah.
talked about
They
being
got some
traded,
good
but he
young
played really
players.
well. Yeah. The big thing is, and they have obviously the stud defenseman. We talk about McDonough, and he's one of our favorite players, obviously.
Yep.
Roman Yossi, Dante Fabro, Luke Shen, UC Saros. He's obviously 29 years old. He's going to be a UFA
Mm-hmm.
next year, not this season, but the following
Next
offseason.
season. Yeah.
You have an RFA in 2025 in Yaroslav Askarov. I think that if they don't get a boatload in a trade, a package, I think that they
Mm-hmm.
go into next season with the two goaltenders, and you kind of do what you've been doing with Pecorine and Saros before that, where,
Yeah.
you make Saros sit a little bit to see what you have in Askarov, because you need to see what do you have. And if not, maybe it's UC Saros gets the long-term contract, the 6-7 years, and you trade away Askarov because there's clearly
Yeah.
you got to do something. You're not going to sit there and have two goalies, taking up a lot of your contract. Um, but yeah, it's going to be a fun off season for them too because they are a budding team. You see, what's his name in the as the GM, Barry Trotz.
Very trust. Yeah.
And he's done pretty well. He learned from David Poyle, who was a very good GM, and I think they're
Yeah.
looking pretty good.
Yeah. They're still a pretty decent team. I could honestly see them um, not trading away Saros and just signing him
Yeah,
long term. Then maybe he gets traded, years into that contract or something. But I don't know that Askarov kid. He needs to play. I think I just saw it. Did they show a highlight? I think before
yeah, him
Boston
decking some guy.
him mauling that freaking guy. That was
Yeah, it was
fantastic.
awesome. Like he got an
Oh
interference
man,
penalty too.
yeah. Of course he went out of his way to just
No, but
freaking
I meant he got
clothesline.
only interference. So shouldn't that have been like a fight, major?
I don't know. I guess that I don't know. Like intent to injure or something, but I don't know. It's freaking hilarious. He wasn't even like he wasn't even in the goal. He was not paying attention. The puck was on the other
That was
side.
great.
The other team had it, and he's looking to his left side where the guy was. He's completely out
Oh
of the
yeah,
net and just tackles the guy.
oh, it's
Oh, it was
fantastic.
fantastic. It was pretty great. But yeah, he needs to play. So if you're signing, let's say hypothetically, you're signing what the hell's his name? Their goalie, their current goalie. Why am I blanking on his name?
Saros.
Saros. If you're signing him, he's not going to play that much. Even if he is the backup, he's going to play 20 or 30% of the games. Maybe he needs to be playing.
I'd
so
say
it's either
if they're going to do
playing
that,
down low or he's
40%.
playing up in the NHL. I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends on what kind of season they're having too. If Nashville's having a shitty season, then maybe he gets more games, and then maybe they even trade Saros then and hand it over to him and just like, let's go. But starting not next season, the season after.
And sure, I'm going to call it right now. If Tampa Bay does not sign Steven Stamkos, I see him going to Nashville.
Who, Stamkos?
Because, both a bunch of guys, Luke Shen, Ryan McDonough, and a couple other guys, all said that they would go and tackle him in Tampa and bring him to Nashville with them. I could, as a dark horse, if he leaves, I think the only team the team he would go to would be Nashville Predators, which I think he stays in Tampa, but that would be my dark horse candidate. So for
I hope he doesn't leave, but it's gonna be if he leaves. One, it's going to be under really bad circumstances because I don't know what the hell. Like what happened to where he's like, okay, I'm out of here. And then two, he's going to look so weird in whatever jersey. It's just because I'm used to watching him his whole career.
No, it'll be weird.
Seeing
it'll be very
that
strange.
Player basically grow up in the NHL, and then he's all of a sudden wearing a Nashville jersey or a Bruins jersey or whatever the hell it is.
I mean, he should have been wearing a Ranger jersey, but I guess that's what happens. So
everybody should have been traded to the Rangers at some point.
Yep. Well, it's very public knowledge, and actually, it's funny. Have you watched the documentary on Stakic? Yeah.
No, I gotta watch that.
They're playing that now.
Awesome.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's good. And obviously the Rangers had a RFA. They gave him an offer sheet and he accepted it. And they 7 days for Colorado to match. The story's been out there for a while, but then everyone also knows that there was technically an agreement to trade Stamkos to the Rangers for Michael Del Zotto. It was either Del Zotto and it was one of the two defenders. It was Del Zotto or someone else and another player. I think was it Callahan? I can't remember. It was either Callahan or Dubinsky, I think. And it was agreed to, I think, a handshake, but then something happened where new ownership came in, right? That's what it was. There was ownership came in and said, never mind.
I think so. No, we're not doing this.
No,
I read a story about that Sakic thing. I want to watch it. I don't know if it's true or not. It was something about one of the reasons why the Rangers didn't get him was because the entertainment. No, not Kevin Costner. Harrison Ford. Whatever the Harrison Ford movie.
Yeah, Air Force One, right?
The entertainment company that was like owned the Avalanche or whatever, like made a ton of money with that movie and were able to match the contract.
Yeah,
so if not for that movie, doing so well.
And I like that movie. I should have rejected it. No, I will not watch Air Force One.
You better.
All Rangers fans should be really pissed off.
You have a copy of that movie on DVD? You should burn it.
Do I? Ooh, I
wonder if I do. I should look.
We'll do a burning party of Air Force One.
All right.
Do it. All right. What everyone wants to hear from these two jerks. The round 2 series up. Our previews predictions. I will quickly go through everybody's predictions because from Tarp. So we have a chat between us and Let's Go Devils podcast, and everyone sends us our picks before the series happen. All right. So. Scotty, Sirius XM, Scotty Krynock goes Canucks in 7, Stars in 7, Canes in 7, and Panthers in 6. So 3 game 7s and a 6.
Okay.
Shorts guy, Canucks in 6, Stars in 6, Canes in 7, Panthers in 6. So once again, the Devils fans clearly just not wanting to pick any Rangers. Canucks. So this is from Beer Baron. Canucks in 7, Stars in 6, Canes in 6, and Panthers in 7. Schwim. Rangers in 7. I love you. Panthers in 5. Avs in 6. Oilers in 6.
Yeah, Steve guy. Different, everybody.
I like it. Steve, Edmonton in 5. Dallas in 6. Carolina in 6. Florida in 6. Steve sucks. I hate him. He's dead to me. I have not had Sam's picks, but we'll get him soon. My picks, Rangers in 7. Panthers in 6. Stars in 7. Oilers in 5.
Okay,
So
wow.
pretty good picks from everybody.
The
All right,
oil in 5.
game one,
That's
Western
bold.
Conference. Yep. No, I think we'll get to it in a second. Game one, Western Conference, Canucks Oilers. Here it is. I think the Oilers are just an overall better team, especially with not having Demko. If Demko was
Yeah.
in the series for the Canucks, I would. I think I might pick the Canucks because I think the goaltender
Yeah.
matters. But you know,
I think it evens out the
Krynock,
series a little bit more.
it does.
Yeah.
But the Oilers' top in talent and Leon
Their power play
Draisaitl
is
is.
out of control.
But Leon Draisaitl, I feel like he's actually better than Connor McDavid in the playoffs, and he is just big. He knows what he's doing, and he's
Yeah.
lethal. And I know that they have JT Miller and Brock Besser and Quinn Hughes and obviously my favorite guy Elias Pettersson. But that goaltender is what stabilizes them, and they have two guys in DeSmith and Krynock. I forgot it. It's not that. That's Scotty. Um,
That's
shoot. What's
Silovs or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Sea Love. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I just
Arders.
I don't think they can do it, and I think that's I see in 5 because I think Edmonton's going to be making quick work of a
Mm.
defense that's not very good. Quinn Hughes is just a really good offensive defenseman, but the defense is not overly scary. Hronik has not been good. You have two pylons in Myers and not Tanev, the Russian kid from Calgary. Um,
Oh,
I just
Zadorov.
Zadorov, thank you. Yeah, I think that Edmonton is just a wagon right now, especially on
Yeah.
offense,
I
and that's
picked
the big
Edmonton
difference.
too. I didn't pick him in 5. I think I picked. What did I pick Edmonton in? 6
You would
or
be
7?
Edmonton in 6. Yeah.
6. All right.
So
Yeah. I'm just basing it off of basically one, yeah, Vancouver not having Demko, which is like a big
yeah,
deal. And then
yep,
2, Edmonton's offense, I think, and their power play, their special teams, they can win the series with their special teams alone. Their
yeah,
freaking
true.
power play
Yeah,
is out of control. If their power play stays hot, Edmonton's screwed, especially with the goaltending that they have.
and I
I
know
don't
that
know.
I know that everybody talks about Leafs fans as being crazy and not
Mm-hmm.
really thinking sanely. Vancouver fans are nuts. I sent you that one link of the kid
Yeah.
just cursing away, but they're just Vancouver fans are a whole different breed. Um, yeah, pretty fun. All right, the Western Series that it's amazing. You had the first round Stars and Knights, which was a Stanley Cup,
Yep.
could have been a Stanley Cup final series, and you wouldn't shake a stick at it.
Yeah.
To another Stanley Cup final series, Stars and Avalanche. Uh, we think the two best teams probably still left in the Western Conference. I, I pick the Stars because they were my Stanley Cup pick, and
Yeah.
I'm going to stay with that. I could see Avalanche winning this in 7-6 games.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. They're both so evenly matched. I know the goaltending situation, Ottinger is better than Georgiev, and Georgiev showed in game one that he was, clearly had issues. But that offense for Colorado is, from Rantanen to McKinnon to Cale Makar. Cale Makar is top 3 player in the league. He's fantastic and
Mm-hmm.
so exciting and ridiculous to watch. I it's so and on the other side, right? You talk about Robertson and Hintz, and you see the big guys, but it's Wyatt Johnson. It's some of these other
Yeah.
guys that are coming out of here and playing lights out hockey.
Yeah.
It's
Pavelski had
so
no
much fun.
points in that series.
Yeah, yeah. He
You'd think
got
he would
bumped
have
off
had
the first line
something.
for Wyatt
Yeah.
Johnson in Game 7.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Johnson's been
I
playing
love
really
it.
well. The only
What do you think
reason,
about the
well, not
series?
the only reason, but why I picked Colorado, that first round series just completely changed like my mindset about them. Like what they were able to do to Winnipeg. I think they could, if they can
Yeah,
do that to Winnipeg, they can do that to any team in the West, in my opinion. So I don't know,
yeah,
man. And Vancouver didn't look all that great against Nashville. And we
no,
all, I think, agree that Colorado is a way better team than Nashville.
yeah,
So I don't know. I think they're going to have their hands full. If Colorado plays like they did in the first round, they're not going to lose to anybody. If they play like that throughout the
true.
playoffs, they are not going to lose to anybody. There's no way. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. It's gonna be a fun series.
So I don't
Dallas
know.
is minus 125 favorites.
Did
Edmonton
Colorado in
minus
6, I
130.
believe.
You did Colorado in 6, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun Western Conference series. I think Canucks Oilers is gonna be a shootout, and then Stars Avalanche is gonna be just a barn brawl.
Yeah.
All right,
That's gonna be
game one
nuts.
right now on 14:50 in the second. Panthers and the Bruins 0.
Still zeros.
I
That's surprising.
Yeah, so I kind of expect that a little bit. Florida comes out. They obviously haven't played in a
Yeah, they've
few
been off for a week.
days. It was a week, yeah. So I picked the Panthers. I picked them in 6, and that's only because I'm giving the Bruins a little bit of a you know a boost after such a good series, long
Mm-hmm.
series against the Leafs. Kind of self-inflicted by the Bruins, but I still see you know the Panthers have such upper their top players are their top players, and they're good. You have Kachuk and you have Reinhart, and you're gonna have Bennett back and Verhage, who
Yep. For
just
Hagee. Yep.
Verhage's
Barkov.
Verhage to me is like the new uh oh man who's the guy Mr. Game 7 um Williams
Oh,
um
yeah. From Carolina,
where
right?
yeah
Justin
Carolina where
Williams.
he just yes Justin Williams, thank you, where he just
Yeah.
seems to have the knack to scoring the big goal all the
All the
time.
time. Yeah. He's such a
And
clutch player.
he
He
is
already. I think he's already the franchise leader in game-winning
goal
goals or
scoring
whatever
leader
the
for
hell it
game
was.
winning goals. That's pretty
Or
crazy.
it might only be the playoffs. I don't know if it's regular season, but whatever. Either way, he's such a freaking clutch player. And him and aren't him and Reinhardt free agents after the
Yeah.
season? I think they're
Yes.
saying
Yeah.
they're not gonna be able to keep both of them. That's gonna be crazy if they can't keep both of
Yeah,
them.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that would be.
And who do you
Could you
keep? Do you
imagine?
keep Verhage, give him the contract, or do you keep Ryan? I think you keep Verhage, in my opinion. I mean, Reinhardt, yeah, had a great
Hmm.
year, 50 some goals, but Verhage, I'm pretty sure is younger, right? And
Verhage, I believe, is younger. Yes.
right, isn't Reinhardt like 30 or 30 something, and Verhage's 20, mid to late 20s? I don't know.
Give me a second. We have.
I don't know. It's tough. I don't think you can afford to keep both of them.
Yeah, Verhage's 28, and then Reinhardt is. They're both 28 actually.
Oh, both 28. Oh wow, that's surprising. Okay,
But I mean, Reinhardt's coming off of
I know, a huge
60.
year,
There's a 50, so he's gonna get paid a
54
boatload.
goals. That's what I'm saying. You're
Yeah.
gonna have to give him a shit ton of money, which in the long run might not be good. And then you lose Verhage, and he goes somewhere else and lights it up. I don't know.
So their cap breakdown is they're going to be for 25. And we'll do this later when we off season, but yeah, it's going to be interesting what they do with
Yeah,
both those two players because obviously very good. You picked the Panthers. I think most people picked the Panthers other than
yeah.
Steven, I believe.
You picked the Bruins. Get out of town.
Oh no, sorry, Panthers. Panthers. I ever picked up the Panthers. Okay.
Everyone picked the Panthers.
Yeah, no one's giving Bruins a chance. I know
Good.
the goaltending is pretty even. Bob's playing the best in the playoffs right now. Swayman's obviously very good. I just think that they're, after losing to, or after, the way the series kind of unfolded with Tampa, I just see the Florida's way too good.
Yeah.
All right, last series, one that I obviously have an affinity for. Rangers up 1-0 in the series over the Carolina Hurricanes. Two top teams in the East, in the Metro. The first game, 4-3 win. It really was a 4-2. I know that they come back in the end. They scored the goal. I think the Rangers kind of took the pedal off the metal a little bit. Going into the series, I was still fairly confident in the Rangers. I think they're a different team under Laviolette. I know the Hurricanes are good. I know what they have. Gensel scares the crap out of me, especially with that line with Aho, and he played very well in game one.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the teams, I think the big difference is the goaltending. Shesterkin is just playing better than Anderson. I know Anderson played well in first series, but
Yeah.
a couple of those goals with Islanders I thought were a little shaky. Also, everyone talks about Rangers had a 4-game sweep. It was against the Capitals. They didn't look overly as dominant, even though it was a 4-game sweep. But then you look at those same people. They look at Carolina and they say, "Oh, they're wagging, blah blah blah." they played pretty bad against the Islanders. They were
Yeah.
down 3-0 to the Islanders in game 2. The Islanders actually could have won game 1 as well. They had a
Yeah.
a tough
Islanders had a
time against
chance
a team. Yeah,
to
the
upset them,
Islanders.
but
Yeah, and
we
listen,
did.
if the Islanders play
We
the
knew it wasn't
Rangers
going to
and the
last.
same thing happened, we'd get flack for that too. So I just
Yeah.
think both teams, didn't have the best first round series. They're coming to this one. Rangers, I just think they're overall. Well, here, I'll ask you this question: if you were doing a draft of these two teams, you're going to take the top 5 players from these two teams. What would your order be, or who would you take?
Well, probably my first 5 picks would all be Ranger players.
You think all 5?
Yeah.
I definitely think the top 3. I think Shesterkin's number 1, right? In a series, you want the goaltender. He's the best player.
Shesterkin,
Number 2 is
Panarin,
Panarin.
Fox, I would
Fox.
want. That's 3.
And so I'd
who
say
else?
so. My next 2 were
Okay.
Aho. My next 2 were Aho and Gensel.
Okay. Yeah.
But when you think about it, the Rangers have the 3 best players in this series, and I think that makes a big difference. And one of them happens to be in goaltend in the net, and that's where and I think if you
That's
gave
huge.
True Serum to the Devils
That's what you
fans,
need.
I think that they would also tell you the same thing. So, I'm semi confident just because I'm a Rangers fan. I'm a cynic, right? Bad things happen to us. I still think that they're the better team. I think they get the win. I said it in 7. I could see it going 6. Game 1 winners, usually do pretty well. Carolina needs game 2. If the Rangers win game 2, I'm going to be ecstatic. So, that's what I think. What do you think? What's your thoughts?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't watch a single second of game 1.
Nope. Okay, that's fine.
I did not watch
But
a second of that game.
just
But
overall
I
views.
just saw the final score. But I picked the Rangers because I had them going to the Cup against the Jets. I had them coming out of the East.
Jets.
Everybody's picking Carolina. Everybody likes Carolina, and I get that. They're a really good team too.
Minus 120 favorites.
They could win the series as easily as the Rangers could win the series.
Yep.
The advantage, again, I think, is in goal. Obviously, the Rangers with Shesterkin. And I think he's going to be their X factor when it comes down to if this goes 7 games. That's where I think you give them the edge and to take it in the 7th game with him in goal.
They have a better
Carolina's
coach.
Carolina's a scary team though. And if Carolina gets rolling against the Rangers and the Rangers start unwinding, then this is gonna be a short series. Carolina will just mop the floor with them. But I don't think that'll happen. Yep. I think the Rangers are a slightly better team than Carolina. They're both very, very good teams, but I think the Rangers are just slightly better than them, and I give them the edge.
Yeah. In game 1, the Rangers stifled their, I think in the third period, Canes went 12 minutes without a shot.
Really?
Rangers up until that point had only allowed 17 shots on net when their season low for the Canes was 19. Canes like to shoot from all over the place. They were blocking. I think they blocked 30 shots. One thing I question for you quickly, and then we'll get out of here. Obviously, Rod Brindamore is awesome. He's the face of that team. Do you think his contract situation with what happened, the reports saying that he wasn't going to contract right before their big series, do you think that affects the team at all? And what is Carolina doing?
His contract is up at the end of the season?
Yeah, end of the season. Yep.
Okay, so
please
depending on what happens,
please.
Yeah, you would love him to go. Well, not to the Devils.
No, I'd love for him to go to Seattle, which is possibly him and joining around franchise.
That'd be awesome, but depends on what happens in this playoffs. If Carolina wins the whole thing, there's no way they're not resigning him. But if they get embarrassed in this series, let's say they lose in 5 games or something like that, and I don't know. I don't know what to believe. I hear all this stuff out there, and who knows what's real and what isn't. Maybe they had a discussion and they're like, okay, we're not going to talk about a contract until our season's over, and then we'll sit down and talk. Who the hell knows? But if he leaves Carolina, that's a pretty big loss for them. That's like losing your best player almost. He's been like the guy behind the bench for them for a while now. And if he goes somewhere else, if he goes to Seattle, if he goes to who else has a vacancy besides Devils?
I mean, obviously, if Toronto would love to get him. Toronto would bend over backwards.
If he becomes available, If Rod Brindamore becomes available,
he's
Toronto's immediately firing Sheldon Keefe. Sheldon Keefe's got to be fired immediately.
Toronto, if they were to hire Berube before, because Berube's a hot name, he's going to be, say they fire Sheldon Keefe. They hire Berube. They would fire Berube just to get Rod Brindamore.
I can see him doing that. That'd be hilarious. And
it would be absolutely hysterical.
I would absolutely
really
do.
It would absolutely.
Because of the Leafs. Oh man, that would be hilarious. That would just like further cement what dysfunction that friggin'
Toronto
team has. Yeah.
Yeah.
If they hire a coach and then fire him like a week later because somebody else became available.
I so want it to happen.
Oh my god. That would be hilarious. You know what? I didn't know that the friggin' the lottery is tomorrow. Is that true? I thought I saw like a
yes. Yep. So
that should be
NHL lottery tomorrow, Tuesday. I think it's 7 p.m., 7:30, whatever it is.
Let's watch that. Let's watch the Blackhawks win the damn lottery again.
Yeah, I swear to Christ. If they get him, oh my god! Why can't San Jose just get him? San Jose.
Here's what I'm saying. San Jose is 100% not winning the top overall pick, guaranteed.
So who are we should?
They're not getting it.
I totally wasn't paying attention. Like, not that I wasn't paying attention, but
I'm not saying it's definitely going to be Chicago, but it's not. San Jose is not getting him. There's no way.
NHL
it's going to be Chicago or Montreal. I guarantee Montreal wins it.
Oh my god!
That's my pick.
All right, NHL draft lottery odds. So you have San Jose at 18.5%, which if you're the worst team, you should have more than 18.5%. Blackhawks 13.5%, Ducks 11.5%, Columbus 9.5%, Montreal 8.5%, Utah 7.5%.
Now, what's the most everybody can move up? Is it still like they can only move up 4 spots or some shit? 5. Okay, so the top 5 teams are the only teams that can win the first overall pick.
Yeah. Yes. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think Utah can get. So is it 5 spots from 1? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Like 6 can go up to 1. I don't know what that is, but essentially, these teams.
So top 6 teams.
I don't know, but I would say I'd take it as San Jose, Anaheim, Columbus, or Utah.
I want San Jose to win it because they deserve the first.
Just
pick.
not Chicago and not Montreal.
Not Chicago. Anybody but Chicago. If it's not San Jose, it's just not Chicago.
I also don't want Montreal just because those guys they
that wouldn't bother me as much. Chicago would very much bother me. And probably everyone else on our podcast and
absolutely pissed.
People we know. If it's not going to be San Jose. No. That's my prediction fans. That San Jose is not winning it.
Yeah, true. All right. Great podcast, Trimmer. Let's do a little outro and then we will bid adieu. My beer, Bolero Snort, 4.5. This is good.
Nice. That was pretty damn good too for a dark lager. I'll go 4.0.
I like it even more. Shrim, you didn't notice I actually got a tan. I was out golfing today, just like our brethren the Devils players.
Oh, really?
Out golfing.
Just like these guys
Devils.
back here.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to be mean to you, but I just figured I'd step on Short's guy a little bit.
He's not
buddy.
Step on him.
Yep, exactly. Take her home.
What's coming up? What do we have? Mother's Day is coming up. Let's do that. Yeah, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We love you guys.
Ladies are the best. Love you guys.
Yes, you are.
Michael Myers, I hear him coming closer.